Hello and welcome everyone, it's Kepken and today we are looking at the Demon Hunter General Talent Tree from the Dragonflight beta. I guess just let's go. We will look upon it through the Havoc tree, through the Havoc specialization lenses, which means that Vengeful Retreat is gonna be taken 100%, and there are maybe some minor talent changes because of the specialization itself. As I've already looked upon, Vengeance has Sigil of Flame already taken. So, that's a little bit of a difference there. And let's read. Vengeful Retreat. Instant 25 seconds cooldown, removes all snares and vault away. Nearby enemies take 30% of attack power, physical damage. Okay, then we have Hot Feet. So for Havoc it's Fell Rush, and for Vengeance it's Infernal Strike, gains an additional charge. Alright, and of course Sigil of Flame. Instant 30 seconds cooldown, generates 30 fury, place a Sigil of Flame at the target location that activates after 2 seconds, deals additional fire damage and an additional fire damage over 6 seconds to all enemies affected by the sigil. Just like baseline stuff. Increases maximum fury by 20. Okay. Vengeful Restraint. Vengeful Retreat reduces the movement speed of all nearby enemies by 70% for 3 seconds, which makes it pretty cool for PvP, for you to retreat easier, for you to kite something easier. Then we have Imprison. Imprisons a demon, beast, or humanoid, incapacitating them for 1 minute. The damage will cancel the effect to limit 1. So that's mostly either for your raids. Well, it can be useful in PvP, in raids, in M+, everywhere. If you're using this stuff, if you're not the person that doesn't really want to place it under anyone and just forgetting about this skill, but probably you don't really have a way to take this talent because of if you're not taken in prison. So I don't really know if you're not gonna take it 100%. Yeah, so it can go both ways. The healing of shattered souls is increased by 5 and then 10%. Okay. Increases the range of disrupt to 10 yards. Interesting. Throw glaive ricochets to 1 additional target. So if you want to have a little bit additional AoE damage, then you're probably gonna take it. Consume magic, consume 1 beneficial magic effect, removing it from the target. It may grant you fury if you've taken some additional targets, so instant and 10 seconds cooldown. Here we have Flames of Fury. Sigil of Flame generates 2 additional fury per target hit, which generates you additional resource in AoE situations. So already we see that that unlike with Warlocks and some other classes, you don't really have only you don't have only utility in the Demon Hunter General tree. You have a bunch of damage passives, abilities right from the start, and that's quite interesting with how it different classes differ very hard in terms of their general talent trees. Of course, specializations, they're gonna do it. That's without a question. But some talent trees just feel like they're only something. They're only giving you something back that you've had, or they're giving you so much new stuff, or they are giving you only utility, or they are giving you only something that is health and healing related, and or mostly. I like it very much. Let's go with some talents in order for us to read more. Pursuit. Mastery increases your movement speed. So more mobility, and just flat movement speed mobility. Okay, so man, like Demon Hunters, yeah, they already have so much unique stuff that comes to just traversing the open world. And this is another stuff that you can get. That's for your transmog runs, that's for so much stuff. Yeah, I'm thinking not only combat here, you know. Disrupt generates 30 fury on a successful interrupt, which is cool. Like you don't really have only utility here. You have it's straight up damage, damage increase, damage uptime increase, or DPS uptime increase, and stuff like that with such a talents. Choose one. Aura of Pain increases the critical strike chance of Emulation Aura by 6%, or Fellblade. Instant 15 seconds cooldown, charge to your target and deal fire damage. For Vengeance, it's Sheer has a chance to reset the cooldown of Fellblade. It generates 40 Fury, and for Havoc, its Demon's Bite has a chance to reset the cooldown of Fellblade. Okay, so again, more mobility, more blinks. That's what the Demon Hunter is known about, and generates 40 Fury as well. Yeah, so let's go with Fellblade. It was our talent before, so nothing new. Consume Magic. Consume Magic generates 20 Fury when a beneficial magic effect is successfully removed from the target. So for my own taste, of course, like Disrupting Fury, but what do we have with cooldowns, of course. Yet still, Disrupting Fury looks as a very, very good addition, and Consume Magic as a little bit as the stuff that is in a little bit of a shadow of the Disrupt, getting Fury on successful interrupts. So Charred Warblades, you heal for 5% of all fire damage you deal. Okay, so like some kind of a leech mechanic here. Let's go with parts of the tree. Fellfire Haste increases your movement speed by 10% for 8 seconds after with your Fell Rush on Havoc and Infernal Strike on Vengeance. So again, more mobility, more ability to be in the right places in the right time. Throwglaive has 2 charges and snares all enemies hit by 50% for 6 seconds. Yeah, so that's for your probably mostly for your like ability to aggro or kite pack of mobs when you're tanking. Reduces or for your PvP needs as well. Reduces magic taken by 2 and then 4%. Okay. Then we're going segment by segment. Yes. Chaos Nova unleashes an eruption of fell energy, dealing pretty low chaos damage and stunning all nearby enemies for 2 seconds. 1 minute cooldown. Instant cast 30 Fury. So that's very interesting that it's optional. It's very useful in M+, it's very useful in PvP, it depends on encounter in raids, but definitely it's a very, very useful ability for Demon Hunters, and yeah, it's interesting that it's optional. Soul Rending, Leech increased by 5%, gain an additional 10% Leech while Metamorphosis is active, and then 20% and 10% Leech. Yeah, so again, straight up solo sustain abilities for you, passives in here. Yeah, it's and like the center of the tree is a little bit weird. It ends here and then starts here and then descends into other talents. Reduces the cooldown of Metamorphosis by 60 seconds. And what is the cooldown on that? I'm not really playing a Demon Hunter as much to remember stuff like that. So our Metamorphosis 4 minutes and then 3 minutes instead. Of course. Like it's 25% uptime, which is quite good. but still pretty long as cooldown. Emulation Aura increases your armor by 10% and causes melee attackers to suffer your 10% probably. No, 5%. Yeah, so it doesn't really scale with the number of talents here. Suffer very low amounts of your attack power fire damage. Yeah, and you definitely can see that some of the talents are like gonna be way better for the tank. And some talents are gonna be way better for damage, but definitely for tank, some of them. And then choose one. Demonic. Eye Beam causes you to enter demon form for 6 seconds after it finishes dealing damage. If I'm not wrong, we have something similar. And Demonic Origins. Metamorphosis grants 10% versatility and its cooldown is reduced by 60 seconds. Oh, I don't even know which one is better because you're gonna have additional metamorphosis uptime both ways. But 10% versatility increase is probably gonna be massive in PvP. Man, yeah, if you want to strike within your one cooldown, probably second like Demonic Origins is... It's just good, and for it, and Demonic is way more sustained uptime of your demon form. Okay, interesting. With the right part of the tree. Choose one. Concentrated sigils. All sigils are now placed at your location and the duration of their effects is increased by 2 seconds, or precise skills. All sigils are now placed at your target's location. Yeah, so that's just an ability for us to manipulate with our sigils way easier and in the way that we really want them to work. So you'll probably take one of them depending on how you'd like to do stuff. Lost in Darkness. Spectral Sight lasts an additional 6 seconds if disrupted by attacking or taking damage. Okay. And Will of the Illidari increases maximum health by 4%. So again, of course it's gonna be useful for your damage, for your DPS subclass, to have reduced magic damage taken and to have increased maximum health. But like for tank, especially reduced magic damage taken. Like maybe increased maximum health is not gonna be crucial at some parts of your gameplay where you don't really need to survive through like egregious bursts of damage. Yeah, it's definitely interesting how they're positioning everything here. Sigil of Silence. Instant 1.5 minutes cooldown. Place a Sigil of Silence at the target location that activates after 2 seconds. Silences all enemies affected by the sigil for 6 seconds. Yeah, so AoE silence. Let's go with left part of the tree after Chaos Nova. Internal Struggle increases your mastery by some amount. Yeah, you're not really want to. You probably don't really want to believe all the numbers that are here, but like, yeah, just increases your mastery. Probably the more mastery you have. Chaos Fragments. Each enemy stunned by Chaos Nova has a 30% chance to generate a lesser soul fragment. Okay. Some more emphasis on you to use Chaos Nova in AoE scenarios. Or Unleashed Power reduces the fury cost of Chaos Nova by 50% and its cooldown by 20%. Yeah, so you're getting more uptime of your Chaos Nova and a little bit of a fury discount. Or you're getting pretty interesting buffs from the AoE uses of Chaos Nova. Alright. Erratic Felheart. The cooldown of Vengeance, Internal Strike, or Havoc Fel Rush is reduced by 10 and then probably 20%. Okay. So even more uptime on the skills. Collective Anguish, Havoc. Oh, so completely different stuff here, or no? Like Havoc, I-Beam summons an allied Vengeance Demon Hunter who casts Fell Devastation, dealing fire damage, pretty big fire damage, I guess. Over 2 seconds, dealing damage heals you for up to like some health. And Vengeance Fell Devastation summons an allied Havoc Demon Hunter who casts I-Beam, dealing chaos damage over 2 seconds, deals reduced damage beyond 5 targets. Okay, pretty interesting. Summoning an additional demon hunter, and it depends on which talent, which spec you have. Looks pretty cool from the stylistic point of view, 100%. Darkness. Summons darkness around you in an 8 yards radius, granting friendly targets a 20% chance to avoid all damage from an attack lasts 8 seconds. So yeah, 100% you're taking it in PvP. Probably you're taking it in M+, and depends on the encounters in raids as well. But yeah, that's our baseline stuff here. Long Night increases the duration of darkness by 3 seconds, so it means 11 seconds once every 5 minutes, which is quite big cooldown, or reduces the cooldown by 120 seconds. Holy moly. Yeah, probably reducing the cooldown by 2 minutes and having 3 minutes cooldown instead of 5 minutes is very, very good. Only if you're not really using your darkness in order to live through one heavy burst stuff, and then you're like, I don't even need that stuff. The Hunt. Charge to your target, striking them for 455% of attack power nature damage, rooting them in place for 1.5 seconds, and inflicting 227% of attack power nature damage over 6 seconds to up to 5 enemies in your path. The pursuit invigorates your soul, healing for 25% havoc and 50% vengeance of the damage you deal to your hunt target for 30 seconds. That's massive damage. And it looks like it's a Night Fae ability. I haven't played the Demon Hunters in the Shadowlands, so I don't really know their skills from the Covenants, their legendary abilities and all that stuff, and I'm just not as experienced on this class as on some of the others, but this ability looks like so powerful. Holy crap. Choose one. Unnatural Malice. Increase the damage over time effect of the hunt by 30%, which means that you're healing more and you're dealing more AoE damage. Fae Empowered Elixir. Yeah, Fae Empowered Elixir, man, that's 100% Night Fae ability. The cooldown of the hunt is reduced by 12 seconds whenever an enemy is killed while afflicted by its damage over time effect. Oh, so that's for you to use it on M+ packs and get refunded cooldowns on the skill itself. Yeah, so probably you're taking, if you're taking this for raids, you're taking first part of this talent, and if you're taking it for M+, you're taking second. Yeah. Then what do we have here? Sigil of Misery. Place a Sigil of Misery at the target location. 2 minutes cooldown, activates after 2 seconds, causes all enemies affected by the sigil to cower in fear, disorienting them 20 seconds. Definitely gonna be good in PvP. And may be good in some situations in Radiant encounters. Probably not gonna be really good in PvE, but depends on the one point. If you need AoE crowd control, then you can take it, of course. Improved Sigil of Misery reduces the cooldown of Sigil of Misery by 30 seconds, so 1.5 minutes in total. And then Misery in Defeat. You deal 20% increased damage to enemies for 5 seconds after Sigil of Misery's effect on them ends. And that's why, yeah, man, that's an interesting one, because you don't really want to fear your enemies in M+, because they're gonna run out and create chaos and maybe aggro some other stacks. But from the other part, you definitely want 20% increased damage to enemies for 5 seconds. But every 2 minutes, yeah, cooldown is pretty big. But still, definitely interesting choice here. So after the Sigil of Silence goes Aldraki Design, increases your chance to parry by 3%. Again, looks like talent tank, 100% tank oriented talent. And Demon Muzzle, enemies deal 8% reduced magic damage to you for 8 seconds after being afflicted by one of your sigils. Again, very tanky oriented, but still that's more of a just overall stuff. Parry chance, yeah, tank. Why don't I have enough talents? Increase the duration of sigil effects by 1 second and then by 2 seconds. And quickened sigils. All sigils activate 1 second faster and their cooldowns are reduced by 20%. So you can invest heavily into sigils and play more relying on them, which is quite interesting. Yeah, so probably not as much thoughts from me on this one because I'm not really playing the class as much. I'm very sorry for it. It looks interesting. It probably still don't like making me wet to play the class itself or both of his subclasses. Hope you enjoyed the video. Thank you for looking at it. Hope you're doing well, and goodbye.